What's up, you guys? You got Shempy again, bringing you another football video. I decided I'm pretty done with Madden after playing a couple of aggravating games and getting the same mistakes. I decided I'm going to try something a little bit different, going back to NCAA, playing the rivalry games. We'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video. Playing on Heisman mode, we've got one of the biggest rivalries in college sports, the Red River rivalry between Texas and Oklahoma. A huge game and a fun game almost every year. As you can see, getting off to a great start, using Jeremy Beal to get Garrett Gilbert, and just tried to use Beal for most of this game, keeping Gilbert, I guess, pressured, but not too much pressure there. He threw a bad ball. A little inexperienced with that quarterback, but Landry Jones is trying to go to work a little bit here, filling in for Sam Bradford. Finding DeMarco Murray, he's one of the guys I wanted to get most involved. He's a great player, a solid back, but running on Heisman mode is often a challenge. Trying to run it up the gut a little bit here, but you see they close so fast. Now on 2nd and 8, I'm looking to go to the end zone. Some great coverage by these Texas corners. I throw a terrible ball, but somehow my man comes up with it. A great catch by this wide receiver. You'll see in the replay a terribly thrown ball right into the hands of the corner, then into the receiver's hands. A great catch and a great first touchdown. Getting a little lucky on Heisman mode, that's one of the things you definitely need. And once again, another terrible throw by Gilbert. He is not doing too well early in this game. That is something I wanted to do. Make sure he was not comfortable in the pocket, and DeMarco Murray going to work a little bit, breaks a couple of tackles, still only picks up a yard. Trying to go back to the passing game a little bit, finding Broyles in the flat, another guy, one of the better receivers in the nation this year. I wanted to get him a little involved. He's pretty quiet in most of the game, but going for Miller, who finds his way into the end zone, cuts it upfield on the nice in route. But I can't imagine I'm going to continue having this much success. As you see, Gilbert starts getting a little more time in the pocket and starts throwing some strikes. I'm still trying to keep up the pressure a little bit. You can see the offensive line is doing a great job protecting. An interesting rivalry here between Oklahoma and Texas. They meet in Dallas, which is about the midway point between the two schools, and they split up the tickets evenly between Oklahoma and Texas fans. I've never been to this one myself, but I've heard it is just a crazy and fun environment. But you can see on 3rd down, I'm not doing a very good job covering that slant route. A little bit too easy and a little bit too much time. And then they go to the run a little bit. He's hanging onto the ball. There's no way I'm going to strip it from him. But he probably gives up a little bit of agility when he does that. And now Gilbert continues to pick apart the defense. They're running a hurry offense, and you can see some more terrible coverage by my defensive backs. There's no way you want to let a guy get behind you, especially on a slant route, and that is just a terrible job. But a good job by Texas to take advantage of that, the imposition of my defensive backs. But trying to go back to the run a little bit. I'm trying to throw this slant route. Nothing really opens up. Try to get it to Broyles. He drops it. My top receiver drops the ball. And that safety, number 6, Christian Scott, I believe is his name, takes advantage of that. Now Broyles looking to make up a little bit with a decent return here. He gets about to the 40-yard line, which is a great field position to get coming out of a score for the other team. But now Texas, who seems to get the top recruits in their state every single year, one of the top states in the U.S. when it comes to football recruiting. And they have the pick of the litter, we'll just say that. I'm trying to run this screenplay, which has been successful in the past in this game. Not successful there, as you can see the defensive end reads the play and makes a play on the ball. But looking downfield on 3rd and very long, there's no way I'm going to get that. Just trying to put myself in a little bit better field position on the punt, but we are pressuring a little bit, and Lewis, the linebacker, he's my star on this defense, makes a great play on the ball. And I love when they do motions like that because it's so easy to read. As you can see, I get a jump on the snap. Beal gets in there, gets the sack off of the missed tackle by, I think, the linebacker whose man didn't go out for a pass, so he just filled that in with a blitz. Now returning a punt with Broyles, getting some more decent field position. Not the best return, but on Heisman mode you can't expect a punt return for a touchdown every single time. Now seeing a little bit of a mismatch here on the left side with the run. some terrible blocking, and the blocking system is one of the things that hasn't been quite right in this game. They're doing a much better job, and they're making a lot of great changes. But now noticing some blitzes and some man coverage, running the screen here, nice little juke by DeMarco Murray, and then a spin move on their star corner. He doesn't know what to do with himself, so I take it in for the score. DeMarco Murray is coming up in a big way, especially in the passing game. A couple of those moves didn't look quite right, especially that juke. He somehow lunged behind me, and then the spin move, which was just not the best looking thing ever. A couple of animations, but trying to go to work here on the defensive end. This is where I often struggle, especially in Heisman mode. Seems like when the blocks want to be made, they just sort of seem to work themselves out. But trying to make sure we don't give the runner too much room, and the broken tackle, which leads to a nice 7 or 8 yard gain, gets them the first down. They're going back to the run, and he's doing a decent job picking his way through the defense. A nice solid 4 yard gain there, and they're going to continue going to the run, but Beal is not having it. He's not going to let them run on him that many times in a row. And then Nelson, who's coming on the corner blitz, says, nuh-uh. A great tackle for a corner there, but they're going for a long field goal, and they will miss that. So I've got a chance to score here to end the second half, trying to get my running game involved a little bit more. Pick up a solid game with DeMarco Murray. Can't ask for much more, but wanting to go deep here and try to get another score on the board. Not too much going for me, trying to get the ball out of my hand so I don't take this sack. I make a stupid play, and it gets intercepted. I pay for that one, and instead of getting the score at the end of the half, we give up a touchdown, another defensive touchdown, and that seems to be killing us so far in this game. But yeah, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I wanted to do a little bit of something that's particular to the college environment, and that's these college rivalries. There's a lot of good ones and a lot of fun ones to watch. I don't have too much experience with the Red River, but I know it's a huge one down south. The big one in the north is that Michigan-Ohio State game, a rivalry I hope to show in the future. But I'm going to take some suggestions here to kind of open a little conversation. What do you think is the best rivalry in college football, excluding this one? It'll probably be the next one that I show, and hopefully can talk a little bit more about it and can educate myself a little bit more about some of these rivalries, and hopefully play some great games in the process, and talk a little bit about what really makes this college football such a great environment. But DeMarco Murray, he's killing me. He fumbles on the play, and number 80 makes another great play. I think his name is Okafor. Just killing me, but you'll see Jones makes a solid play, getting away from the sack, and then finding a man downfield for 4 yards. Not too many yards, but can't complain with a solid gain on the play, and finding my tight end here, who makes a great play running in all streaks. Now trying to put my confidence in Murray a little bit. He did fumble earlier, but he's still one of my best options here on the offensive end, even if the running game isn't working too well. Now finding Stills, who is running another one of those in routes, one of those crossing routes that seems to do a great job at confusing the defenses and drawing people out of their zones when they are running a zone. But now off of the play action, we see a little bit of a blitz action, and finding my tight end who gets under the corner, that star corner who's made a play earlier in the game. I noticed the linebacker blitz, so I was pretty sure that he was going to be underneath that corner or safety, and threw that ball in there. But taking the sack with Landry Jones now, they're getting in a little too fast and not really sure what to do with it. And once again, too much pressure, just throwing the ball downfield, hoping someone's going to make a play, but there's nothing going on there. Now on 3rd and long, I'm going back to the screenplay, which has had some success. You'll see the blockers are weirdly turning around. I'm not really sure what that's about. But DeMarco Murray makes a great play, breaks 2 tackles to get the first down, and keeps this drive alive. And now finding a little space in the red zone, trying to make some plays on the ground. We are into the 4th quarter now. I'm down by 7, so it's time to make a play. Here on 3rd and 6, I'd like to get something in the end zone. Find my man Broyles, who doesn't quite make it in, but he gets that first down, and a solid play here by DeMarco Murray. Switching the side of the field that the play is going to be run on, going to the weak side with no tight end. One less blocker, but you can see that the defense was not ready for it. But Texas is looking to put together a long, methodical drive to wear out some of this clock and potentially get a score that will win them the game. The running game is working to perfection, and that is something I cannot have. And while I have a second, I'd like to talk a little bit about some of the changes they're making in NCAA 2012. If you've seen our Facebook recently, you've seen some of the posts I've made and some of the videos that they've shown about a new tackling system, actually a collision-based tackling system, something I've been wanting for such a long time, and they finally are starting to put some work into it. And then a correction on zone defenses. You see, zone defenses are often the easiest things to pick apart as a quarterback. And you saw that in my previous career with Shane Falco, and then you'll see that here when I'm trying to play on Heisman mode. But it looks like they really are trying to make some great gameplay improvements, and that is really what I think is most important. You see all these things coming out in Madden that just don't really change the gameplay. They don't change anything except the appearance of things. And that's some of the beef that I have with Madden. They haven't worked on gameplay in years, and that might be because of the contract they have with the NFL. They don't have any competition. But you can really see NCAA is trying to do some great things with this game, and I'm excited to play next year's game. And even if it's not great, you know they're trying to make progress, so it's always good to see. And to get back to the game, we are in the fourth quarter. We are running the clock down a little bit, telling my running backs to hold on to the ball. I just want to get into better field position for this field goal and wear out some clock. So I continue to run the ball, holding that R1 button to make sure he hangs onto it and does not fumble. Calling a timeout with 2 seconds left. That should give me enough time to get this field goal through the uprights. And it is just too easy, straight in the middle of the field. As time expires, and another great game in this Red River rivalry, DeMarco Murray gets the player of the game, doing it mostly from the receiving end. But this rivalry series is something I'm definitely looking forward to. College football has all these great rivalries and a lot of great games that have been played throughout the years. As I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm looking for some insight. What do you think are going to be the most interesting games for me to play in these rivalries, especially considering the rosters are not up to date. So you have to take into account the people on the rosters and what you think will make up a good game and what do you think the best rivalries are. So let me know what you think about that in the comments. We should see some interesting games here on Heisman difficulty, as the computer does not sit down and make it easy. But hope you enjoyed this video. See ya!